When I was done with high school and before I started college, I met with one of my old professors. I consider him a mentor at the time. I hadn't been in his class in a couple of semesters, but it was just basically a goodbye and a catch up before I went off to college. And we were discussing the future and what I would study in school. And he didn't know what I was going to study, but he said that it's a shame that people don't study this major more. And the major he chose was philosophy. And as a young, arrogant 18-year-old kid, I said, that has got to be the dumbest choice you could make for college. Maybe it is, but I, of course, was going to be a film major. Yes, that turned out great. And I was like, well, at least it's practical. It's making of something, and it can be very lucrative if you're a good creator of films. And now reflecting back, I'm 34 now, so we're talking, 16 years later. We're like, oh, everything that I believe that's gotten me to this point in my life, and I would say more successful in every year of my life is because I started to exclusively read philosophy. And I say philosophy not necessarily in like a classical sense of, Nietzsche or Heidegger or, Kant or any of those guys, not the classics, but philosophy of mindset. I've read a lot of mindset books, philosophy of how to think. And I think what philosophy gives us is a blueprint. But you're searching because a lot of philosophers will not align with you whatsoever. They're too dense. There's nothing you can really do with their words in terms of taking that into action and doing something. But I discovered that philosophy is sort of a blueprint that you're looking for that somebody has already articulated, and you're like, yes, that is what I need to get into. I can buy into this. I can live this 100%. So I started thinking, would philosophy have been a good major, or would it have ruined school? Would I've had to have sifted through a lot of really bad and just pretentious literature to get to where I'm at now, or would it have actually like accelerated my growth as a person instead of waiting to my late 20s, early 30s to figure it out? Would it have actually been beneficial in my teens and late teens, early 20s? But it's sort of the thing of I didn't have enough context in life to even understand that what philosophy meant. Like you have no vision, no timeline of context in your life when you're 18. So how can you apply this dense philosophy if you have no experience in which to kind of relate to it and then go forward with it? I'd be interested if somebody in the comments here actually did have philosophy as a major, and did they think it was terrible? Do they regret it? Would they have done anything else? Because I think my biggest fear would be what I just did. What I did in college was I took what I liked at the time, film, and I said, well, I just want to keep doing this. Let's go to school for it. But what I should have done was done something more practical and then kept film on the side as something that was a hobby that I could study myself. Instead of taking a more academic approach, I should have just kept it as a hobby over here. And that's actually one of the interesting things about my life right now is those of you who have followed my channel probably know that, you know, I used to do Myers-Briggs stuff all the time. My page was constantly being updated, probably every 2 weeks or even more frequently. I would have a video up, an interview up, posting more regularly, being interviewed on other people's channels. Those that follow me on other platforms know that I was constantly posting about Myers-Briggs, and there was a phase where I did try to transition that work into that was going to be what I did for the rest of my life. That was going to make my money. I was going to be an independent consultant, things like that. But what happened was when your passion turns into kind of like a job, it quickly goes away. So what I said was, I'm going to do what I'm good at, which is something in the business world. And then I'm going to just keep Myers-Briggs as something where I write about when I want to. I have, you know, these discussions with you, the audience, after I think I haven't posted in about 70 days, maybe more. So it's more fun when I don't have to crank out content constantly and I still get to be passionate about the thing, but it doesn't ruin my life. And there's been some creators that have expressed this publicly that it's actually really hard when what you love becomes what you have to do to keep your lifestyle going because then it handcuffs you into a job, and it's not a passion anymore. So, and this obviously this coaching and Myers Briggs and personality type is a very very hard profession to do full time, um, because it's not something everyone needs all the time. Corporations go back and forth on what tool they're going to use. Um, you have to charge a lot to sustain yourself. So the people that are most into personality type would be like someone that's 16 or 17 or 18 that likes it but doesn't want to spend a whole bunch of money on uh, like getting coaching or anything from you. So um, where I'm going with that is it better that I didn't, do philosophy then, like a soft science, and discover it later in life? Because now I think I've been able to figure out the way that I think, the kind of the playbook for my mind, because someone else already discovered it. I don't think any of us have completely new ways of living. So if we don't have options to choose, I would say literally, I would say to choose from. If we don't have philosophical frameworks to help us to pick, to choose from, to sort through and go, do I agree with these tenets of this philosophy? No, throw that out. Read the next one. Do I believe that? No, okay. And then you stumble upon one that you're like, yes, this is how I'm going to live. For example, a lot of people, probably the last 3 or 4 years, have really been into stoicism as a mindset, as a way of life, as a way to think, way to approach the world, good and bad. And I dabbled in that for a little bit. That's one branch of philosophy I think is popular. But see, like, you need that framework of stoicism to decide, is this a way that I want to follow these tenets? Um, I think I do believe, I don't even know what this tenet would be called, but it was sort of when Michael Pierce came out with his Motes and Beams book. He talked about the INTJ, ENTJ, ISFP, and ESFP being this monarchical type, the monarch mindset. And I think I do believe in sort of, it's, I guess you call it like social Darwinism or might is right or survival of the fittest, or like there are just certain, like there's certain people that should be in certain spots, others shouldn't be there. I don't, it's probably anti-egalitarian, I guess is what you would call it. So I think after reading so much philosophy over these years, I discovered, like, though I hear a lot about people should be this philosophy of life and should live this way, I feel like my natural gravitation is to this kind of hierarchical social Darwinist type of mindset. So I guess I would end this video, the short video, with kind of a question to the audience is, did you ever discover that a philosophy that you decided this is me? I've never heard it before, but now that I've heard it, it's what I believe to my core, and then you've followed it. And what was it? Um, like, what are the tenets of it? What are the bullet points of it? And also, I think kind of getting back to the actual title of this video is uh, what did you go to college for? And did it work out, or do you regret it? So thanks for watching. I know it's been, I think it's actually been almost 90 days. So I'm still here, just doing more of the Myers-Briggs stuff that I want to do, and just not forcing the art, just kind of waiting for something to conjure itself up in my head, and then I bring it to you here. So appreciate everyone. Thank you.